Guess where I am? I'm on top of the needle. Oh, what needle do you think I mean? Yeah, that's right. You don't believe me? Well, let me show you. Seriously, thousands of visitors to this very spot have been making long-distance phone calls like that in the past 2 weeks. For Seattleites have been getting a preview of the most spectacular attraction at the World's Fair.
On a needle up high, you can look through the eye and you're seeing it all. Yes, you're seeing it all. As the present unfolds, what the future beholds, you're elated, fascinated. See the art shows, walk the thoroughfare, on the boulevards leading everywhere. Ride a rickshaw, dine on caviar, you can telephone a star. It's a wonderful age on a beautiful stage, demonstrated for you, been created for you. It's just a part of the thrilling start of
World of Tomorrow, an inside view of Century 21, the Seattle World's Fair.
This chart behind us here illustrates far better than we could verbally just what your problems are.
Well, this chart shows where the foyer, where the guests will arrive. This area here, which is also in the stationary part, is our service area containing the kitchen. The outer ring is the portion that moves, and all the seating is located on the outer ring.
This chart has a very practical use here, doesn't it?
Yes, very definitely. It's much easier to explain to our employees how the operation will work by using this.
Just how large is the eye of the needle, Harry?
Well, we've used this comparison, Bill. If we would pick up the entire restaurant and take it downtown, we would not be able to get it into the grand ballroom of the Olympic Hotel.
Without actually being here, it's difficult to believe that it is that size.
Yes, it is large.
We heartily recommend it to all within our reach. Thank you very much, Harry.
Thank you, Bill.
In keeping with the simulated ride through space in the elevator, the starters are dressed in bright-colored spacesuits. But in either costumes or decorations, the space theme ends when you reach the top. At capacity, the needle cannot be expected to handle more than about 25% of the total fair attendance during the 6 months of the exposition. Extra money was spent on overtime to get ready before the fair so that Seattle people would have an opportunity to go to the top before our visitors arrive. The early birds haven't enjoyed the plush service of the restaurant, but they could eat at the snack bar. Here, a battery of automatic machines make change for dollar bills, dispense fresh brewed coffee, ice-cold drinks, hot sandwiches, and a variety of other snacks. Nobody anywhere on the fairgrounds will ever be more than a few steps away from something to eat. But of course, there's only one eye of the needle. As soon as the guests are seated, our camera will not be moving. Neither is the outside wall. As we hold in a fixed position, watch the table and the guests move slowly out of the picture. The moving portion of the floor has steel wheels that roll on 2 tracks. It's equipped with 48 anti-friction bearing rollers. Fully loaded, the turntable weighs about 90 tons. But believe it or not, a 1 horsepower electric motor keeps it turning. Of course, a reducer slows the speed by a ratio of 800 to 1. And the motor thus delivers a force of nearly 19,000 pounds to the turntable shaft. Moving at this speed, there is no perceptible feeling of motion when you're seated at a table. But in 1 hour, you will move all the way around the circle and back to your starting point. We said a few minutes ago that the space theme ends when you enter the eye of the needle. This was deliberate planning on the part of Western Hotels and designer Don Robbins. The purpose was to create a distinctive, elegant restaurant with no more of gimmicks than the breathtaking horizon-to-horizon view. In decor, design, and cuisine, this was planned as one of Seattle's truly fine restaurants, not only for the fair, but for years to come.
This is Mr. Edward Carlson, the president of Western Hotels and the chairman of the Washington State World's Fair Commission. Mr. Carlson might well be referred to as the father of the Space Needle, and perhaps we can have you explain to us just exactly how this all came about, Mr. Carlson.
Thank you, Bill. Well, Mrs. Carlson and I were in Stuttgart, Germany, in May of 1959, and we had dinner in the television tower at that time. We were so impressed with that structure that we thought it might be nice to have something like it in Seattle.
And from that point, things began to happen, right?
Well, when I came home, I had lunch with Jim Douglas one day, and that was encouraging enough that he and I went over to see Jack Graham, who has a wonderful reputation for designing some great buildings around the world. And then from there, we were fortunate enough to have a group of citizens in this community under the leadership of Bagley Wright put up the money, and this is what we have.
We in Seattle will be eternally grateful to you and